have Graham Veysey on the talk back with us this evening. It's a face you may not know, but to this area, you're going to start to become more familiar. You are running for Congress in the 9th District against Marcy Kaptur, and we'll have Dennis Kucinich in that race now in the Democratic primary. Okay, introduce yourself to Toledo.
Well, thanks so much for having me on. And I think this campaign, which is the next 60 days, starts with multiple conversations with people from Toledo to the west side of Cleveland, which is the 9th District. And
it is now.
Now it is. And I'm calling it tomorrow's North Coast because what we've got in common is Lake Erie. We're geographically apart, but we do share one of the greatest natural resources of this region and then of the country if you incorporate all of the Great Lakes. So this is an introduction to people to let them know who I am and what I stand for.
And what do you stand for?
I think that Congress is broken. And I've been somebody who's always thought that if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And with about 90% of the rest of the country agree that Congress is broken, and they care more about scoring political points than finding policy solutions. So I want to be aggressive about those policy solutions while making sure to serve the constituents of the North Coast, but do so in a pragmatic way.
Okay, so specifically, what are some of the problems you see and things you can change?
Well, I think the economy, everybody can agree, needs to get better and do so quicker. And you can look at all the different approaches, and it's not any silver bullet. It's much more silver BBs, if you will, more buckshot than anything else. And we've got to get our fiscal house in order. We've got a $15 trillion debt, and that equals the U.S. output. So we have to rein that in.
So what would you do? Specifically, what would you do to rein it in?
So the $15 trillion debt is a result of the failures of the Appropriations Committee and the Budget Committee. And what they ended up doing is appointing Erskine Bowles and Alan Simpson to get a commission. It's a bipartisan commission to try to solve that problem. Well, they took that commission's report and they put it on a shelf. I think we should pull it off the shelf. Because what they then did was create a super committee, which was just a super failure.
It didn't get anywhere.
It didn't get anywhere, and unfortunately, it's back to that point that I made. Too often, you've got these people in Washington who are devoid of reality. Marcy Kaptur was elected to Congress the year I was born, in 1982. And it's not going to change with the same old, same old. And Albert Einstein has a great quote that insanity's definition is doing the same thing over and over again and thinking that you're going to get the same result. But
you're a newcomer to this, and you're going to go against two heavy hitters that I assume are going to have more money on hand than you will. What's your strategy to beat them?
Well, the truth is we've got 60 days, so it's much more of a sprint than a marathon. And it's getting me in front of people to realize that we have fresh ideas and a fresh face is needed to fix Congress. And we believe that these two longtime incumbents who have entrenched issues, who've got a bunch of IOUs for all the campaigns they've run. Marcy, 1982 was the first year that she was elected to Congress. Dennis, 1996. We think that we can bring this fresh approach that people might have talked about reaching across the aisle. I'll stand in the aisle if it means getting things done.
All right, Grandma, we'll wish you the best of luck here as you travel back to Toledo, and that's your talk back.